Hi, everyone. It's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. If you're joining me through YouTube, make sure that you've subscribed, and you subscribe just down here in the corner. And if you're off of Facebook, make sure that, especially in the group, that you've given StreamYard permission. Otherwise, I don't know who is making comments, and uh, I'd kind of like to know who I am speaking to. In any event, welcome to how did they do that? Technique Tuesday. And this is probably one of my favorites, other than my card sketch ones that I do. Mind you, I do have. Well, in any event, I really do enjoy doing this series. This is a series that actually started. I was going to lunch with a friend, and she says, "Why don't you bring that back? Why don't you bring back doing techniques again?" So because of her, this, you can actually thank Kathy for this. But in any event, we are on episode number 35. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that it's episode 35 already. Good afternoon, Kay and Lorraine. Remember that this is a live, so if you're hearing me talk to different people, that's because this is a replay that you're watching. In any event, how did they do that? My Technique Tuesdays series, episode number 35. Now, there's two names for this particular one that I'm doing. Hello, Marjorie. Hello, Betty. I am doing ghost stamping technique. Now, I've done this before on when I was doing another live. I have no idea. I wasn't doing techniques or anything like that. But there's also, you could call this shadow stamping as well. Hello, Felicia and Janet. Oh, you like this series as well, Janet? Thank you. I really do appreciate that. In any event, this is ghost stamping. Now, there are different types of stamps that you can actually use for this that work better. Like, honestly, I think the Nature's Prince would work great with this, but I played so much with that, I wanted to play with some new stuff. So in any event, we are going to play with Dainty Delight. Now, this is in a bundle from the J2A mini catalog. And if you do purchase this, and you haven't bought it before, but it's celebration time as well. And so we have the Dainty Gardens Designer Series paper pack that you can earn for free. In Canada, it would be for a $60 purchase. In the States, it's $50, but the other markets I'm not too sure about. But in any event, you can get this Designer Series paper for free. It's so pretty. It reminds me of wildflowers, is definitely what this reminds me of. Beautiful ovals here. Like, just the prints themselves are so pretty, but check out the other side of this. This other side has some beautiful, more neutral prints. These ones are so pretty with water wash, and this one as well. I'm really prone to this one because it is the Blushing Bride, but today we're going to use this. And it says it's Starry Sky, and I put it up against Starry Sky, and yeah, it's close, but I think you could, I don't know if you could use that with Night or Navy. Let me just check that out. Let's just see if it would work. It would work with Night of Navy, but I do think that it does work better with the Starry Sky, which is this color. So it's kind of in between. I guess you could kind of get a monochromatic effect in there, but beautiful Designer Series paper. You can never go wrong with Designer Series paper with celebration, that's for sure. All right. Now, just something, if you do live in Canada and you are not working with a demonstrator, make sure you reach out if you haven't got a catalog. And also, we are having a virtual catalog launch this weekend, and you're welcome to join if you're not working with somebody else. Just reach out to your demonstrator. They should have done something for you as well. In any event, ghosting or shadow technique. Oh my God. Hello, Marilyn. Love this technique. Like I say, it would look really good with the harvest. What is it called? It's at the other end of the table. That's unfortunate. But I am going to try it with this particular floral arrangement. I think it will work with this. I think may have to play just a tiny bit with it, but I think you'll be quite surprised with it. It also has these incredible dies that go and correspond with these different cutouts and everything else. I haven't played with this as much as I should have been playing with it. I want to have a few samples done for my launch for this coming weekend. In any event, this is ghost stamping. So I'm just going to put this off to the side. What you want to do is you would use this with image stamps or large word stamps. It kind of gives that shadow to it. So I'm going to come in. I have some thick basic white. It's 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. And we're just going to go in and just get a good score line on there. Now, my thought process is that I want to use this as the first layer. And I'm thinking also I want to use this beautiful navy, Night of Navy bordered ribbon. And it does go great with this. It really does. But this was part of the Regency Park bundle. So the ghost stamping. You could stamp this. And I thought, oh, I'm going to stamp this with the Starry Sky. But to me, for the purpose of doing this particular one, it wasn't going to work. And the reason it wasn't going to work is because it doesn't dry fast enough. It's one of those ones that just doesn't dry as much as the other. Like it doesn't dry like, say, a memento. So I'm going to use the memento. Now, this is just a half a piece of basic white. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put that in the corner. And I'm using the Stamparatus because there's a way. Yes, this color is amazing. I am using this. Hello, Sandy from Las Vegas. In any event, I'm using this and I'm going to use Memento Black. Now, I could use, like I say, I could use the Starry Sky, but then I'd have to really make sure it's good and dry. And my luck lately with something like that hasn't been working. It's a little damper in my studio. It just feels damp and moist. In any event, with this particular technique, I think it works best with, especially these daintier images, it works best with the Stamparatus. So I'm just using the Memento. I'm going to come in and I'm going to come in with my Chucky. Now, I know I get asked this a lot about this Chucky. Go under, just search my YouTube channel and you'll find the most amazing tool, and it's called a Chucky, Chuckie. And this is a recycled one that you can make your own, and it tends to save your wrists when you use your Stamparatus. But I'm going to go in, and do I want that a little bit darker? Yes, let's go in and just do it a tiny bit darker. And just going to rub that. This is a very simple card. It's not meant to be one that's, by doing techniques, it's better to just show a simple card so you get the gist of the technique itself. All right, it's like that. Now, the whole thing of, hello, Diana. Oh, hello, Sandy. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go and I want to clean this. Now, I should have brought in my chamois, but I just have a baby wipe, and I'm going to kind of let that dry just a tad. And then I'm going to come in with Versamark is going to be the next thing that we're actually going to use. And honestly, there's two ways you can do this. I can take this like this, and this is where the shadow part comes in, or ghost stamping. I can take this and just move this just a tad, but I find that's difficult for me to get it so that it's even and it looks right. So I'm going to give you a hint. What you want to do is a shim. So I just took my rotary cutter, and yes, I still have one of those, and I cut off a piece of chipboard, and I am just going to go and put that right in there, right up against the thing there. And then I'm just going to move this and butt this right up to there. And that's going to give me the same evenness all the way along. No, it doesn't have to stay in there. That's just getting it to the proper place. And that works out to, I think that's about a 1/16 of an inch, I'm thinking. It's about a 1/16 of an inch. Now, this is where the shadow or the ghost part comes in. Now, I'm going to come in and I'm going to stamp this with Versamark. But before I do that, I'm going to come in with my embossing buddy. And let's just rub this over here. Oh, good, Kay. You made one yourself. It's actually, it was a customer of mine from Abbotsford that made me this one. And yeah, very special, this one. So I'm just going to come in with my Chucky again. Now, the Chucky, just like, I can do this and do it with this, but the friction from my hand tends to also stop it. But it also really helps with if you have arthritis or anything in your hands. Now I'm going to do that one more time. It is so much easier to use, isn't it? Okay, let's just do that. And now the other part is going to be white embossing powder. I'm just coming in and I'm going to take my, just going to close this up. I like that image the best out of the whole thing, I think, because it's so big and I can see lots of things happening with it. And then I'm going to come in with just a spare piece of cardstock, because that's what I do with my embossing. And I'm just going to put this over top. If this is done properly, it won't go all over the your table. I find with the spoon inside here, what happens is the static electricity, and it tends to go all over the place. So what did I tell you about the embossing? It just opens up a whole new bunch of opportunities once you learn how to do it. Yes. It's very sweet of her to send that to me. Okay, so I'm just coming in, and one of the hardest things to do is to emboss white on white. You just want to make sure it's good and heat set. Embossing is one of those techniques that you really need to practice with. But once you've got it, you've got it. So this might have been a little bit too much, but it'll work okay. Now, if you don't cook it properly, or if you, it'll rub off. And if you overcook it, there's not going to be that ridge. So I'm going to just double check. And usually the best way to double check is to see if it's glossy. I'm going to be very daring. There we go. It's all over there. Now I'm going to come in with my blending brush. Have you seen those new small blending brushes? Oh my goodness. This one I want to cover lots of area all at once. So I'll use it. All right, so now I'm going to come in with the Starry Sky. And I'm just going to blend this. Now I'm not going to blend it all the way through. I'm just going to rub it into there. Oh, nice, Crystal. I'm so glad that you found me. All right, so we're just going to brush off and then go on. Like I say, I'm just, whoops. Now, like I say, we could have used another image and it would have worked great with this too. But this just shows that you can go ahead and use the finer images. So tomorrow, what's going to happen is at 9:05 Pacific time, this with my sample will be posted on here, and I'll just have some of the measurements and that on there. Will be posted on my Facebook group. The Facebook group is right down there, right below us here is a link to Stampin' with Diane Stampers group. That's the only one that it's on. And you can download it, print it off, and then make a sample, and then it's for your reference, right? All right, so we have it like this. And then what you want to do is come in with tissue. I just happen to have some paper towel here. Let's see, I'm just watching it. And we have Debbie from Australia here. Hello. And Di from Australia as well. I think you call these something different. We call them paper towels. There's something kitchen something or other. In any event, then I'm just going to rub that ink off of my white. And this is like an embossing resist, but you can see it gives dimension, this ghosting. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do, I thought this would look so nice if I had used, and oh my goodness, are they not here? The dies that I was going to use are the framed floret dies. Let me just grab them just right here. And the one I thought I'd use, and I'm going to tell you something, this only happened by accident. This only happened by accident that I found to do this. So I'm using this particular one, and you can see I still have a thing in there. I have let me bring this up so you can see it. See how it looks? Kind of looks fuzzy. It makes you think that, oh, my eyesight's wrong, but it is called ghosting. But anyways, back to this frame. I've kept this in, and I'm going to run this through, and I've gone ahead and I've run one through, so you'll see me doing it. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like. So by running it through, the pieces didn't come out. So I actually have a full solid oval, and I'm going to actually put it on like this, and we're going to give more of a ghosting look on there as well. So this is going to go on here. And then this is just going to, I think I could pop it up is what I think I'm going to do. But I want to put some ribbon on here as well. So I'm using that Night of Navy ribbon. White would have worked pretty good with this too. Just find I don't really care for that white seam binding ribbon. I like it, but I don't care for it by itself. I like to use it to color it, but I find that it just it's so staticky. It's hard to deal with or to work with. All right, so I am just putting some tear and tape on the back. I'm going to also do this ribbon I'm doing as a faux bow. So when I take this off, I want this ribbon to I want it to stay down. So I'm going to actually come back in and reinforce it with another piece of tear and tape. So I'm just going to go in and put this like so. I have a thought process. Maybe this will work. Let me just grab something. Thinking to, you know what? I'll do this in a bit. I'm going to use this ribbon as well. So let me just put this around here. And I'm not putting it right in the middle. Do you ever use your grid paper so that you can see if you've got it straight? Don't want to tuck that down because it has that tape on there. All right. See. You can also use this designer series paper to line up your ribbon as well. Right, so I'm just going in like that, and I'm going to come back with my tear and tape, and I'm just going to reinforce this. And you'll find that this ribbon doesn't come off. Even after 10 years, it's not going to come off. So put that like that. And then I thought I could use this white here because I think it needs some white. I think it needs something on there. No, I think I'll tear this off. This is Stampin' on the Fly. So I'm just going to come around. You know, that keeps sticking to my thing. So let me just bring in my silicone mat. My silicone mats, I need to clean them, that's for sure. So I'm just going to put this on here. Let's see what this is going to look like. Yeah, I'm going to bring it around twice. Now I can just take this tear and tape off too and stick it down. And let's just do this side as well. And that's just giving us a bit of a different look again. Now I can attach this to the card base. All right, so let's go with our glue. And we'll just go ahead and put that on there. Like so. This piece happens to be 4 by 5 1/4. Oops. I can see that I didn't fold that very well. So let me just go and get that even. And I'll just come and score this so that it's even. There we go. There. That's better. Now, like I say, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here, covering up most of that anyways. So I think I'm going to put this, let's see, should I pop the frame up or pop that part up? Let's see, what am I going to do? I think we're going to put this down and then I'm going to pop the frame up. This is just going to go here. See that ghosting? It's so neat. And like I say, I've done this with really neutral colors, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more colorful than what I've done in the past. I've done it with Orchid Oasis too. It's worked out pretty good. All right, so I'm just going to come in with my little dimensionals. But you see how when I put that through the cutting machine or the cut and emboss, it didn't poke those holes out, and that's the look that I wanted. So sometimes I would leave that in just to get that particular look. I think I'm going to need to maybe cut these, or let's just cut this like this, and then I'll just take some of these off. I love these, the mini ones, because you can get the little strips off the end. So I'll just put that on there, because I want this frame to be popped up quite well. I think we need about 4 of them on there. We're going to have a dog that's going to be barking at me shortly. There we go. Oh, good. I'm glad. I try to give as many hints as I can. I feel like sometimes I'm a broken record when I give tips, but a lot of people sometimes don't hear those tips. So there we go. We'll just put this on there. And then this is going to pop up and give us another like shadow sort of thing. Like I say, the thicker it is, it's quite nice, but I really wanted to use this Dainty Delight. Let's just take those off. And then we're going to also do the inside. I probably should have done the inside before I did the outside, just in case I have to add something else to it. Power of positive thinking, we're going to keep it on there. All right, so see, by me putting this up here, we've got another ghosting effect. We want to make sure that's good and down there. There we go. And then what we want to do too is we want to go ahead and put our sentiment on there. Now this stamp set has some amazing sentiments on there. Celebrate you. Thank you for your kindness. I think I'm going to do a celebrate you. And honestly, this would have been really good. And this isn't going to work with this piece. I have another piece of paper here. I've used it for, it was used for something else, but that's okay. I can go in here and use this. Now I'm wondering, should I do this just in, I think we'll try this in the Starry Sky. It might even look really good with Emboss Resist. But if I do this, Celebrate You. Now this color does change, the Starry Sky. It works really good. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this particular punch is what or I could use this punch. No, I'm going to use this punch. We're going to end up, it doesn't matter. I'll end up with a white skillet when I could use somewhere else. This dual oval punch is really nice. It kind of corresponds with the other oval that's on the front of this card. So let's go ahead and let's do a tiny bit of sponging on there as well. And we don't want it to be completely sponged. See how this isn't? So I'm going to kind of sponge part of it and leave the other part. Just like that. Thank you. It is. It kind of just, I don't know, it really almost, it gives you, when you're looking at it, it's kind of like an optical illusion there. So let's go ahead and put that there. So I'm going to put a dimensional on here, glue here, because we don't want it, if I did this and put a dimensional behind there, then it would be uneven. So let's go in with a dimensional. This side. Glue on this side because it's going to go onto the frame. We want it to be even. Now this would go really good. Pretty plain card, if you ask me. But sometimes plain and simple is the easiest. I'm thinking to myself, do I want a faux bow? No, we're not going to even do the faux bow on there. Now, what would go really good on here? There's, you know what? I have this cut out, and I think that's what I'm going to just put on the inside of this. So let me just quickly get some glue on here. We're going to let it set for just a second so it doesn't ooze out. Let's see. Just like that. And then there's these new, now I had them here. They were white, and they were embellishments that were white. I'm going to leave that to put that on, because I just thought the white would be really kind of nice on there. So I was thinking this would be good because of it's the same color in there. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe it might be better to do something else. Wonder, these essential dots have white on them. And you know what? I'm going to use that white, but that's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of, there were some really nice opaque gems that are in the new catalog, but these are new too, so I'll just go ahead and use those. So I'm not going to use the real big one, but see how nice those look. You know what? And we can use a little one. And I think because it's heavy down here, just down here, I'm going to just come and let's just put this here as well. So those are the enamel dots essentials on there. And let's go ahead and just put this on the inside. Now I've let that sit just a tiny bit so the glue kind of dries just a bit. And then this way that glue isn't going to ooze out and then the cards won't stick together. And then at that point you can turn around. You wouldn't say that's plain, Lorraine? Oh, thank you. Don't forget, if you like this, give me the thumbs up, share my video. I really do appreciate that. I see that some have already shared, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Susan. Yes, this would make a really good sympathy card. Yes, it would. Most definitely. Anything that has those kind of sprigs on them, I think makes excellent sympathy cards. And Marilyn, it's on your list, is it? Yeah, it's really pretty. It's simple, right? So like I said, that's the ghosting technique. See how it, let you see that again. The ghosting technique. This sample will be down here. Make sure that you make a sample of your own, put it on there, and I'll have the measurements to the card. Not like there's anything that's really difficult here. I'll put the stamp set, I'll put the designer series paper that I've used, and also the embellishments there. And then basically you've got something to know exactly what I used for that. So I hope you enjoyed that. What's happening tomorrow is my mystery challenge. Every Wednesday, what I do is I do a mystery. My mystery is totally different than what people have been doing and what I did at the very beginning of the pandemic. What I do is I love to give you 3 clues, use something from your stamp room and make it simple. So tomorrow is going to be a simple card. And maybe probably using something from Celebration because we might as well use it while we can, right? And then on Thursday is my Now What series. Just to let you know, it's a virtual catalog launch, my one up here in Canada, and it is on Saturday. So my sketch challenge won't be until Sunday, and that's just because I can't break away at 10 o'clock. In any event, you guys have a great evening, and don't forget, give me the thumbs up, share my video, and have a great evening. Bye for now. And we can't stop this. All right, there we go.